So I got asked a very interesting question. They said, Apefather, why do you care about how many views you get if ultimately we're going to one day have the AMC and the GameStop MOASS? You're going to be a multimillionaire. What do you care anymore about YouTube views? Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little story and then it's going to all make sense to you. Wayne Newton, the very famous singer in Las Vegas, okay, was having major trouble. He bought all of this real estate, turned out to be like swampland, and it was worth nothing. And he winded up getting into so much financial trouble, he was literally on the verge of bankruptcy. He calls up Donald J. Trump. Okay, he says to Donald Trump, he says, listen, I heard once or I read once that you were like $9 billion, all of this stuff, blah, 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 in debt, $9 billion in debt. How did you get out of it? So Donald explained to him that you have to understand in life, okay? There's a difference between me and you, he says, and regular people. And Wayne Newton's like, what are you talking about? We're famous. That's what he said. Fame is power, okay? And if used correctly, it scares the living, shit out of people. And Donald always used his fame to win, okay? And that's what really, I think, separated him from a lot of real estate developers, because most real estate developers who are very successful, they're quiet. They don't, they're not in the limelight. They're most of the time you don't even know who these people are. Like Richard Lafrock, here's an example. You don't know who he is, right? There's so many of them. Munyon, I could go on and on. There's tons of big, gigantic real estate developers, Silverstein. There's so many of them. I could go on and on, okay? But a lot of times you don't know them. Okay, but you know Donald Trump, right? Okay, because Donald Trump is famous. Donald Trump is not just a real estate developer, he's a superstar. And then, of course, he became our great president. But before he was our great president, he was a star, okay? And that's what he explained to Wayne Newton. He said, use your fame, be like, look, go to the banks, be like, I'm going to work out a deal with you, but you have to give me a good deal. I'm Wayne Newton. You don't want to get on my bad side. I'll go on TV. I'll knock your bank. Nobody's going to want to do business with you. You know how many millions of fans love me? Millions and millions and millions of people. You don't want to hurt me. So he scared the living shit out of the banks. And the banks were like, yes, Mr. Newton, we will definitely work out a fair arrangement with you. And then they turned out to be very kind to him. And then he was happy and the banks were happy. But it was because of fame. Now, if you were just a regular person, the banks will tell you to go F yourself. But when you have fame, you have power. So now, getting back, money is not everything. There's a lot of people in this world who are very, very well off. I mean, just in my family, my cousins, I got 2 cousins that are multimillionaires, but they're not famous. They're just regular people, okay? Fame, to me, is more powerful than having money. And if you could have both, that's incredible. Like if you could be rich and famous, then you're like, you're King Tut. You're King Tut. But just having money doesn't make you famous. That's why, see, I know that you say, well, why do you want to be famous? It's just something I want. I've always wanted to be known, well known with music, with acting, with comedy. And you know what? I know I'm getting up in age and I don't, I'm getting old. I got to do it soon. I got to make it happen within about a year. So that's why I make a lot of YouTube videos. It's really not about the money. I want to become famous. I want to become well-known. And I can promise you this, if I was well-known, I would fight for all of the retail investors. I'd fight for all of my apes, AMC, GameStop. I would make sure that this corruption gets exposed. I will fight for victory for all of us. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. I'm an entertainer. But one of my goals is to become famous.